Hello, my name is Jared Schubert with J Fitness Coaching, and today I'm going to go over needs-based programming. So over the last few videos, I went over my three-tiered approach for exercise programming, where I discussed how you could do a workout and make it make sense for you guys. So I split it into a push day, a pull day, and a leg day, really focusing on how to design a really great workout program based on scientific principles. And doing larger muscle groups and medium muscle groups over our smaller muscle groups so that we can maximize our energy efficiency and be able to perform optimally to build good lean muscle tissue and surprising strength. So today I'm going to go over exactly how to do it based on your needs. All right. So there are basically 4 different principles that we can apply in strength training. One being endurance, second being hypertrophy, third being strength, and fourth being power. Now of course, these specific needs or goals are based on what you're trying to accomplish. If you are trying to maximize your lean tissue, if you're trying to build up strength, or if you're trying to build up endurance for a basic strength training program. These are all good goals, and they all have specific rep ranges, sets, rest periods, and specific weights that we're going to be hitting, specific amount of weight. So with the first goal, muscular endurance, okay? Muscular endurance, basically what it is the muscle's capacity to withstand fatigue. A great reason why we might use a muscular endurance routine is if we're just trying to get used to weight training in general. So for a beginner, I might take them through a lot more exercises, a lot less sets, and a lot more reps just to get them used to the movement patterns and develop a little bit of endurance. So as far as reps and set ranges for muscular endurance, we are going to do a lot less sets. Okay, we're going to do about 2 to 3 sets to get some good variety in there. We're going to get a lot more reps, and we're going to work with a lot less weight. So we're going to work with about 60 to 65% of a percentage of a weight that we can only do for 1 rep. Once we figure out something, a ballpark of that, we're going to come up with 60 to 65% of that number, and that's going to be around what kind of weight that we're going to work with for most sets. Our rest periods are going to be less as well. It's going to be 30 seconds or less because we're hitting lighter weight, so we don't need as much recovery. Also, we're hitting less sets, so again, we don't need that much recovery. So for the beginning practitioner, this is a great way also for a lot of you to build up some fatigue resistance, not only in your muscles, but in your cardiovascular system as well. So if you have an issue where you're running out of breath, you're having a hard time keeping your breath, and you're sweating a lot, and it's getting hard, 30 seconds or less of rest is going to be more intense for you guys, and it's really going to build up your fatigue-resistant muscle to withstand more volume, which is the next phase, of course, in our training program. So a lot of people, when they're training, they might start with muscular endurance and then move on to muscle building or hypertrophy, and then move on to strength once they feel like they've hit a significant amount of weight and they want to get a little bit stronger. So everybody goes through these training phases every once in a while. Very rarely do I have one particular client that sticks to only one training phase and doesn't cross over into another. So secondly, we're going to discuss hypertrophy. And a lot of you guys that are novices or have just started off with strength training don't know what hypertrophy is. Basically what hypertrophy is, building lean muscle tissue, building lean muscle mass essentially. You might be asking yourself, why can't I build lean muscle mass with all of these specific goals? Well, these specific goals are specific for a reason. Some people, particularly athletes even, in one part of their phase might not be concerned with building lean muscle tissue. They might want to get faster and stronger for their particular sport. So in that case, they might not be on a particular hypertrophy programming phase at that point in time. But for the average gym goer, a lot of times I recommend a hypertrophy training phase after they have gotten basic endurance established. And the reason why is because that's going to be the most effective for them. They're going to hit higher volume as far as the sets, a higher volume as far as the weight, and moderate volume as far as the repetitions, which is going to be, believe it or not, a little bit more stimulative of muscular growth. So hypertrophy literally means more growth. Trophy means growth. So with the hypertrophy range, we're going to hit about 4 to 6 sets, a little bit more sets than the endurance range. We're going to hit about 8 to 12 reps. So that's going to be your moderate rep range, and around 30 to 90 seconds rest. And why more rest? Because we're going to hit higher weight. We're going to hit 75 to 80% or even more of our 1 repetition max. Thirdly, what a lot of athletes get to in a 3 or 4 tier training program as well is a strength phase. And for a lot of my clients, they want to build strength and muscle at the same time. That's why I do some sets or some exercises with hypertrophy as goal and some exercises as a strength as a goal. If that's a particular area that they're lacking, I might kind of mix the two up so they're building muscle in that area and getting the amount of volume they need as far as strength. So strength, we're typically going to go much heavier on. We're going to do about 85 plus percentage of their 1 repetition max. It could be exactly their 1 repetition max of a given set to build up strength. We're going to take a lot more rest. We're going to take about 3 to 5 minutes of rest because you're going to need that recovery time. For repetitions, we're going to get 6 or less repetitions because we're going to be hitting it a lot harder, and we're not going to be able to hit a lot of volume on it as far as each individual set, because we're going to be maximally exerting the highest amount of force we can. And our set ranges are going to be closer to the hypertrophy range. It's going to be about 3 to 6 sets because we want as much practice as we can to build up a lot of strength. Lastly, for most of my clients that are athletes or do any type of athletic work, they're going to get into a particular training goal known as power. So with power, we're combining strength and speed. For the general practitioner, it might not make sense to do a power training program, but for say an athlete that needs that speed strength for their particular sport, this is going to be a crucial way to train. Now, typically with power training, we're going to incorporate now some newer movements. We're going to incorporate movements that involve quick reaction times, like Olympic style lifts, where we're trying to lift the biggest amount of weight that we can in the shortest amount of time. And it's also going to include movements that are considered plyometric movements, such as jumps, leaps, bounds. With power training, we're going to do about 4 to 8 sets because we want to get the work in. Based on what kind of weight we're working with, we're either going to do around 1 to 2 reps for our heavy sets and about 4 to 6 reps with our moderate to heavy weight for power training. The rest period, again, is going to be the same as strength training. It's going to be around 3 to 5 minutes because we're going to need more recovery time in order to do our best, perform optimally, etc. And of course, we're going to hit a high repetition max on this. We want to hit a lot of weight on this. So we're going to hit about 70 to 100% of a 1 repetition max because we want to perform the best we can, the most weight in the shortest amount of time, because that's really going to develop a lot of that speed strength that we need for our particular sport that we're going to be doing if we're doing that routine. So again, guys, here are the specific training goals that I covered in my needs-based programming approach today. Endurance, which is the muscle's ability to withstand fatigue over time. Hypertrophy, which means more growth. That's our muscular growth or our muscle building routine. Strength, which is the maximal amount of force that we can exert in a given time. And power, the amount of force that we can lift as fast as we can. So guys, if you have any questions about my needs-based training program approach, please let me know in the comments below. Please like, post, share, follow my page, follow my YouTube account, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks, bye.